Welcome back to PSS Friends. Today I'm back with yet another product review, this time with a digital VST plugin called Djenthuggah Drums by It Might Get Loud software. Before I begin, full disclosure as always, this isn't a sponsored video per se, however I was contacted by It Might Get Loud Productions a few days ago and was asked if I wanted to demo this software before it came out, and I definitely agreed, because if I get any chance to play with some cool toys for free at the low cost of making a review video, then I will do it every single time. So big shout out to Ron from It Might Get Loud. Appreciate the opportunity here. So before I talk any further, I'll just let you hear a couple clips what I was able to come up with their plugin, and I'll explain what it does, how it functions, and why you might be interested. Djenthuggah Drums can be used as a VST instrument, as you see. It's the way I use it, and it comes with several shells, one of which is a kick drum, snare drum, and 3 toms. There are no cymbals included, so the cymbals you heard were some other freeware samples that I used, and you would have to use your own for that. Now, the purpose of Djenthuggah is to try to capture that bombastic drum sound that bands like Meshuggah or Periphery have. Cheaply and easily. So within the software plugin, there are 3 separate sliders that control the sonic characteristics of each drums. Basically, there are 3 separate samples that you control how they are mixed together. One of which is Djent, another being jazz, and the other one being the bottom end. I pretty much crank the Djent on all of the drums, and a little bit of jazz on the toms, and a little bit of the beef on the snare and kick, but I don't need a whole lot. I just really like the stock sounds. Of course, when you output it correctly, like I did not do in Cubase, you'll have all of the separate tracks in your mixer, so you can further refine them there. You could also just, have every one of the sliders up to the top and mix them in Cubase if you would like to do that. In order to achieve the huge sound you hear in this demo, I output the drums, that plugin, plus the cymbals to a couple separate buses, one of which compresses them, and another which I select separate drums, I think everything but the kick and the cymbals, into a reverb bus, and then mix that into the master. So that's a common technique you can do with about anything as far as MIDI instruments go, and I hadn't planned on getting to that very soon. I was going to do some type of tutorial with that later on, but I might get to it just because of this video. But regardless, I did that because the stock samples are so good I didn't really even have to touch them. On the individual instrument tracks, I didn't EQ them. It's just basically a master compressor and a master reverb, and it's really easy, and I would greatly appreciate that. The only criticism really I have of this product in terms of a VST instrument is that there are no cymbals included, and that means I had to break the MIDI part, the drum mapping, into 2 separate parts, one being the cymbals, one being the toms. Not a huge deal, but just for purely simple and convenient plugin goes, I would love to have all the cymbals and everything in one place with similar sliders. That way it's, I'm being a guitar player, I like drums that are like, I mix one thing for like 5 minutes and I'm done and I can walk away from them. So I'm not hugely technical on that. I just want something that gets my idea out, because all the demos and songs that I create, I want a real drummer to track them eventually, not just me messing with plugins. But what I do love about this plugin is it does capture that just monstrous sound that drummers like Thomas Hawk and Meshuggah achieve, and that is really cool. It doesn't take a whole lot of practice, doesn't take a whole lot of know-how to be able to achieve it. This doesn't mean that Djenthuggah's use case is limited to just a VST instrument. They also include .tci files and .gog files for use in Steven Slate and Djenthuggah products respectively. So if you just want to be able to have the samples and mix them into a existing kit, you can also do that, and I think it's well worth the cash in that instance. So should you be interested in Djenthuggah if you're playing heavy music like that? I say definitely, and I would especially recommend it because of its price. We're not talking about a $100 sample pack. This is 20 bucks, according to Ron. It's not out as I'm recording this, so I'm going to take his word for it. But I don't know about you, but I can blow $20 on something and have no idea what I just got back. So $20 for a plug-in of that quality is a no-brainer to me if you are looking for a different drum sound. And on that note, I'd like to read some quotes from my exchanges with Ron. I asked him before I made this video a few questions about his business as well as the plugin and what they were planning on doing with it in the future. So I asked him what it would be priced. Of course, he said $20, but he also added that we, it might get loud productions, obviously, strongly believe that software prices need to come down in order to stop online piracy, and the best way we do it is by pricing our software reasonably. Can't really argue with that. I would also add that service is just as big of an issue for me personally, because there's just no such things as demos hardly anymore, and why should I pay you $100 for crappy service when I get better service for free? And that's a big issue with DRM in video games. So I truly believe that price is the same side, or just a different side of the same coin. So I definitely appreciate their outlook on that. He also adds that in terms of support and bundling for the plugins with their other software, he says, we'll also offer a bundle with the KVLT Drums bundle, which will include Djenthuggah Drums, KVLT Drums, and the Black Metal Essentials MIDI pack for $50. And all that minus the Djenthuggah, if you bought individually, I'm pretty sure comes out to around $50. So you'd be crazy not to do that if you were trying to get all three. So that's very cool. On asking him about expansion sets for the Djenthuggah Drums, as if they want to add any symbols or update the UI over time, anything like that, he replied that they don't have any set extension plans for the immediate future, but as our business grows, our goal is to grow our plugins as well. And we do have our 2017 releases more or less planned out, which is good news. It's in a fine state as is, but I always really appreciate the developers that try to go back and tweak their stuff for free. That's always an added bonus for sure. And finally, I asked them to confirm, is it just you and another guy named Tony? And he said, yeah, plugin development side of our business basically consists of Ron and Tony, the YouTube side of business. They have another UK correspondent. But generally speaking, IMGL is very grassroots and a down-to-earth type of team. No suits, no egos, just a bunch of metalheads trying to bring something different to the game. And I guess the message we want to spread is that we don't believe in competition, we believe in community, and we wish there was more of that in the scene. And now I think they just want me over as a customer with that line right there, because I would much rather spend $20 to $50 on a high quality plug-in that's made by two people, no less. Like, that still blows my mind. And for people that are just trying to make a good quality product, then rake you over the coals for overpriced software. And I understand why some of this stuff is so expensive. There's development costs involved, but wouldn't you much rather support a couple guys who were just like us, maybe a lot more experienced than me from the sounds of it, but I would much rather support those people like that are just trying to bring something good to music making community, people that are just trying to get their ideas, spur on creativity, than this big disconnected corporate process. I much rather would do that myself. So yeah, I would have to recommend Djenthuggah for people who are looking for a djenty sounding drum set on its technical merits alone. Sounds really good, really easy to use as a VST instrument, and if you have the aforementioned compatible software, you can also use it there. But also on the whole outlook that the company has, and being such a small grassroots movement, you definitely got me a customer. Got me as a customer. So next time I'm in the market for VST instrument plugins or the like, I will definitely search there first. I hope I can review more software down the line. So yeah, thumbs up for me. I've enjoyed my time with Djenthuggah Drums, and if I'm allowed to, I would love to keep using it for personal productions in the future, at least for demos and the like, because man, it's just so easy to get a pretty sweet drum sound. So if you want a more capable demo, go to their website. You can see an embedded, or more accurately, hear an embedded SoundCloud demo made by someone who's a lot better at mixing and engineering than I am. but see that even someone as incompetent as me with mastering can get a really crazy good drum. So big shout out and thanks to Ron from It Might Get Loud once again. Thanks for contacting a sub 100 subscriber YouTuber to be able to do a demo. That's really cool. And we will see you down the line with more reviews, both physical and software stuff. And stay tuned for the tutorial based on MIDI drums and how I got a sound similar to that. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.